pass the module and it's all done. It's also important for you to understand how would you do this in a professional working environment. What would you do about it? So, that is the first question, understanding what is your aim. Second is improving your digital footprint, understanding what is that you've got going in your social space. And that is really important for a very simple reason, because we said a few weeks ago, you are what you publish. So if you're going to be talking all the time about extreme sports, that's what people would think you are. You're either one of the guys who loves extreme sports and does them himself, or someone who is involved in organizing and creating these events. So that is something that is very important to understand, and from time to time, step back and look and scan your social presence, whether that's for business or personal. Understand what's happening in which channel. That is really important. The next thing is, what's your online engagement? Now, we've said being online is just the first step towards a bigger picture, towards creating what we've said and building long-term relationships. That's what we're trying to do. And social media is enabling that. Social media is making it possible for us to do what? To do just that. To build that personal connection with brands, personal connection with other people. So understanding what's your current online engagement and how active you are is important. You can't just set up those profiles in social networking space but then do nothing. Because that could, of course, work against you. And the last thing you want as in business is to do things that will work against you. And this is exactly an example where that could do just that. Then, next thing is, we will look into what are the processes that you need to follow to engage, listen, and experiment with social media practices, right? So we're going to look at how can you experiment, how you can get started. But then later on we'll look at what is something that really travels very fast in social space. And those are viral messages. Sometimes viral messages just go so fast, it's unbelievable. But the way they spread is through the process of 6 degrees of separation. We talked about it, right? So based on that, in a very short period of time, you can end up reaching everyone in the world based on 6 degrees of separation. Which we said was the process, pretty much the separation between you and anyone else in the world today. And we also explained how this, as research, was analyzed and examined, and it came out to a conclusion that it's pretty much right in 6.6% of the time. 66% of the time, which is really high. Then in the end, we'll look at creating some content, viral content. What are some of the approaches you can take? It's really important that as we go along with the module, you experiment and experiment some more. This is not just about doing the assignment. It's about learning. It's about thinking outside the box and looking at different perspectives when it comes to social and seeing how you can questioning everything. Probably the key skill that you need to develop, and I hope you developed so far for these 3 years at university, is to question everything. Because more you question, you get more insights on the problems and issues that you're running into. Whether those are business problems or personal. So it's important to do that. And then, last but not the only thing that we'll also cover in the module is your weekly topics, which you will then work on your tutorials from next week. First things first, why is it important to understand the power of social? Well, the most important thing is that in a social space, you do two things that have got a very main goal when it comes to social. The first things first, you are out there to build social connections. Those social connections that you are building are creating something that then next phase will be building relationships. Then those relationships are the key elements that will help you to build the growth of the business. You will not be shopping in a company that doesn't look after its customers. You will not be spending time in a retail store that people who work as sales assistants look miserable. You won't be spending time in an e-commerce site if their social networking presence, Twitter, YouTube and Facebook are empty. So you see where we're coming. Social is changing everything for a very specific reason. That is saying to all of us, we are, especially most of them, we are in this business because we're passionate about it. We want to change the world, like Apple wanted to do, Steve Jobs, right? And so that's why it's no surprise where you've got so much buzz whenever a new product is about to get launched. And then people queuing up outside app stores to get hands on those first products. Because they make that clear to everyone else. Now, those businesses that pay lots of attention to building those connections and then move that process to building real relationships, not one-time transactions, real relationships, will have a potential of growing their business in the future very much. And that's why I thought of showing this to you, which is going to be in the chapter, fourth chapter of the book as well. Now, why that is important and what do you need to do about it? And also, why we do that? Why there is so much of social activities we go through? Well, we might do all sorts of things, right? But let's look at some of the key things. Because we want to build up a business that is not just going to die in 2-3 years, but it's actually going to have a very, very sustainable future. There's so many reasons why we do some of these things online. Well, the first thing is because we're passionate about our business, right? We love what we do. That's the first number one thing. The other things is that we might want to get social because what? Because we want to promote a product or service. We might want to say, let's connect with people out, let's see what they do, and let's show them what we're trying to integrate into the market, what we're trying to bring to the marketplace. So it could be that you want to promote a blog. That might be just one aim you have. You might have another aim where you say, I want to get more people to subscribe to my YouTube channel for my business. That's the aim. So entire social activities and the entire social plan and strategy evolves around that specific simple thing, which is about getting people to talk to you more because you want to increase those numbers of subscribers in your channel. Because in your channel, you talk about cool things in mobile tech, right? And that's what your business is. There's some other things you could do. You can want to raise awareness of your brand. You want to tell people you exist. So that could be another thing. There could be more things that you want to do. You might also want to say, well, I want to build a community. I've just started with business. I don't have a huge range of customers, and I want to build that community. My business is about construction, right? Let's take an example. And I want to build up a community around that thing. And so the other thing you could also do is that you could start to promote Facebook page, for instance. You've got a Facebook page for your business. There's so much that happens in there. You want to promote that to people. Some of these key things, some of these key questions are the ones that are going to help you identify what is that you want to try to get outside social. The first thing that any agency will ask you, if you